In this lesson, we're going to talk about some advanced methods on list objects, namely methods. Now, if you recall, functions are a way to take code that would normally be reused and put it in one package, in one code block, name it, and you can use it over and over again. When we talk about classes in later lessons, methods are just another name for functions that are part of a class. And the list object in Python is a class. Types in Python are classes. Now, we don't have to concern ourselves with that right now, but methods are used on objects through the dot operator. So, for instance, if we want to look at an index on a list, we can use the dot index notation to access the index method. Now, again, you treat it just as a function, but you take your variable that's a list, you put a dot after it, you put the method name, and you use that method just like a function. So that's me explaining it in words, but we're going to see how this looks in Python. So I'm going to open idle back up, and we're going to use idle again just to try out some of the list methods. So before we had a list spam, and we talked about the different types of spam. Regular spam, spam light, spam with bacon, smoked spam. So now we have a list spam, and if we display this list, we see our 4 types of spam. So the first method I want to talk about is the index method. The index method, if you know a value name, helps you determine what the index of that value is. So let's say we wanted to know what is the index of bacon spam. So we can type spam dot, which allows us to access the items on spam, and we use the index method. And again, methods are functions, so you have an open parentheses, and then in this case we type bacon, the string bacon. Now, if I asked you, since you're looking at this, what would be the index of bacon, you would look at the list and go 0 is regular, 1 is light, and 2 is bacon. So if we hit enter here, we get the value 2. So index returns the index of a specific value in a list. So that's the index method. Now let's say we wanted to add another type of spam to our spam list. In our original video on lists, we talked about the addition operator, so we can concatenate 2 lists together. But let's say we just want to add a string to create a new item on the end of the list. We can use the append method. So we type spam, that's the name of our variable, dot append. And let's say we're bringing back pineapple spam. The market wants more pineapple spam, and we hit enter, and we type spam. And now we have added pineapple to the end of our list. So append adds an item to the end of the list. Now let's say we want to insert an item within the list. We can use the insert method. So spam dot insert, and the first argument you pass in, so the first parameter, is index. This is where you want to insert the object before that index that already exists. So in this case, if we wanted to insert it before light, so light is at index 1, we want to insert it before index 1. So our new item will appear between regular and light. And we will call this, in the second item, our second parameter, we insert the argument of whatever we want to add. Maybe this is diet spam. Close parenthesis, hit enter. Now, if we type in spam, we see we added diet spam between regular and light, so before index 1. So those are the append and insert, so if we want to add an item to the list. But let's say we want to remove an item from the list. Let's say we added diet and people are confused. It's like Diet Coke versus Coke Zero. The market doesn't know how to handle it. No one buys diet spam. We can remove an item from the list. So spam dot remove. You type the value, in this case diet, and you hit enter. Now, if we type in spam, diet is no longer there. We've removed it from the list. Let's say we want to sort our list by name or by number. If you're using numbers, we can use the sort method. So spam.sort will sort the list, and if we display spam, it will now go bacon, light, pineapple, regular, and smoked. Now, I just want to note that Python, by default, uses ASCII-betical, so you're used to alphabetical, but in the ASCII numbering scheme, uppercase letters are first. So in Python, when it does a sort, capital A through Z are first, lowercase a to z are of a lower precedence. So when it sorts the list, just remember that. Let's say we want to sort it backwards. If we type spam.sort and we set reverse equals true, and I just want to note, I know we haven't gotten to this yet, and in the lab you'll see this too. In Python you can explicitly set a value to a parameter by naming the parameter. In this case, the sort method on the object spam, the function sort, the method sort, has a parameter called reverse. So we could type all the parameters in order, so add arguments in order when we call the method, or you can write reverse equals true. You can specifically say the value or the argument we're going to pass in for the parameter reverse is true. So reverse equals true. So we're going to sort it reverse, and you're going to see smoked, regular, pineapple, light, and bacon when I hit enter. So that is the sort method on a list. If you want to just reverse the items, you don't really know if you want to sort it, which way you want to sort it. So let's say we call spam.reverse and we show spam. It reverses the list completely. If we do reverse again, it reverses the list completely. So if you keep calling reverse, it'll just switch the items back and forth, reverse them over and over again. So that is essentially it for lists. In the next video, we'll quickly review the tuple data types, but for what you need to know in this class, this is good enough for list objects.